Now, back to Coastal Living on KZTV.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching Coastal Living. Now, we saw Jocelyn work out earlier, and she got a stretch in at the end. But we're back with Dr. Chad Peters to tell us why stretching may not be the answer.
Yes.
Tell us more.
Well, so the last time I did a big seminar, I was the guy that's pretty much introduced as like, hey, this is Dr. Peters. He hates stretching. And it's not true. I don't hate stretching. What I hate is doing the wrong treatment for something that it isn't needed for. So after a workout like that is appropriate to stretch, right? You just got done, you've worked these muscles, they're tight, and they're all kind of balled up.
Yes.
But you can also have muscles that are very long, and they're also tight.
Which we've talked about before.
We've talked about it, right? You know,
stuff,
so when we're sitting here all day and we're in chairs, our back muscles get very long, our butt and our hamstring get very long, and stretching those things isn't going to help get it back into the right position. So in my clinic, I get this every day. People come in, well, I'm just so tight. It's my lower back. It's my glutes, it's my hamstring, my sciatica. Those aren't issues that tend to respond to stretching.
Okay.
But I fight it. I have to fight this a lot. It's been going on for a long time. The information's out there. And this is just one of those things that is from the 90s and early 2000s and probably from the 70s before that our PE teachers said and our coaches said. And it made sense. It's tight. Let's stretch it.
Sure, we're set in our ways.
This is the new era, man. It's 2020. So we can't just keep doing lame, old, tired out treatments. So if a muscle is too long, you don't stretch it anymore. You contract it. So think of like
that episode,
think of like like in 2000 the Olympics, some guys run down the track and he pulls a hammy and he goes down. The trainer would run out there and throw their fanny pack down and start stretching them. You never see it anymore because it's not appropriate treatment.
Okay.
So you've got to figure out when muscles are too long and too tight, and for the most part, too long or too short. For the most part, the muscles on the back side of our body do much better with contractions. So going back to your segment with Orange Theory, you're laying on the little Basu ball and you're doing these contractions, right? It's backside contractions. That is much more appropriate for your body.
Interesting.
Yep.
Right, and you talked about a tore hamstring. I had, oh my goodness, it took me maybe 6 months to recover. And I was actually going to a physical therapist, and I had to do different types of workouts and stretches. And I want to know, what are alternatives for something like that, especially if it's that excruciating?
That's what I suggest. Something like that shouldn't take that long. You've got to be doing something wrong for someone healthy, young, and strong like you to have an injury that takes that long.
Oh my goodness.
So instead of stretching it, we would want to contract it and shorten the muscle and heal up a lot faster.
What about the ice massage that I got?
Yeah,
because
so
that was painful.
Ice is huge, right? So another reason you could have tight muscles is because you have an injury. So when you have an injury in the sports world now, the term is on threat. So if something is on threat, the body's response is, oh crap, something's wrong. So it locks the muscles down tight to protect it. Stretching it isn't going to do anything. It's just bringing blood to the area, and it feels good. It just feels so good, but you're really not doing a lot. For the most part, a new injury is inflamed. When you stretch it and put the hot pack on there and sit in a hot shower, do a massage, it brings more blood to the area, and the body's response is, oh man, something's even more wrong than it was before. Let's lock it down. And that's why you wake up every day right back where you started, or even progressively getting worse.
So what do we do instead?
So you want to ice it, and as long as it is inflamed, you stay with the ice. So the old adage from like my era, my PE teacher was, well, you're going to ice it for 48 hours, which no one ever did, and then you're going to stretch it, or then you're going to stretch it, then you're going to use heat and ice back and forth for 48 hours, and we've all heard this. And then you go to heat, and it's just ridiculous. It's not based on anything. Somebody said it in a seminar one time, and it just sounded great. So now we don't do it. If you're inflamed, you're going to use ice, because if you do heat, that's pro-inflammatory. That's the opposite of like your ibuprofen and your naproxen. Make sense?
And so ice and contracting that muscle, say it is your hamstring.
Well, you have to know which one it is. So yeah, I mean, if you're going to have to guess on the back side of your body, it's probably too long. You may need some help. You have to go to your PTs, your physios, your chiropractors, that kind of stuff for that kind of help. But for them, you can probably figure it out your own. If you're not sure and you have tried something for, let's say, 6 months and it's not responding, maybe just try the opposite. Like, come on, who does anything for that long?
Right, I know. So I have to ask, before workouts, to prevent anything from tearing, would you encourage stretching?
So I'm really big into warm-ups. I'm really big into these dynamic warm-ups, and that's kind of where it's at. So the old days, like I coach a lot of kids soccer. In the old days of like, everyone bend down, touch your toes, let's warm up. We don't do that anymore. I make my kids flex their butt, flex their hamstrings. We want these muscles to
You're going to be a hit at the gym, like, what is she doing over there? You're like,
please, don't wear the armadillo shirt and you're out there like flexing your glutes, right? And then the last one you could have is an electrolyte issue. And we've talked about electrolytes before. If you are depleted in electrolytes, your body is just going to do weird stuff. And it's usually muscles tightening up. So find what you've got and do the appropriate treatment.
Okay, so we're not totally slaying the stretching. It's
right.
okay after a workout, but maybe not under all circumstances. So consult your physician or follow Chad's advice and
just get modern.
Try the ice. Yeah, look up your symptoms and find the right solution. Okay, we're not done with you yet.
All right.
We are going to go to a commercial break, but when we come back, we're joined by Dr. Chad Peters and his surprise guests. I'm still not going to say who it is. To learn more about them and him, maybe get the scoop on who Dad is behind the scenes. There's a hint for you. All right, fun for the whole family and a fun game when we return on Coastal Living.